Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to another edition of the NCCR podcast. My name is DeVandis Smith, and I'm flying solo today. I gave my friend a day off. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in, and do me a favor real quick. See that little thumbs up? Click it. Subscribe. Stay up to date with the podcast. Kim will be back next week. Um, I guess today is a little unique because we had a unique service. I guess you're probably saying, hey, how are you going to recap Sunday service? Well, I will recap it this way. And pulling from my friend Kim, it wasn't a murder the sermon title, but how can I phrase it? An event. We'll go with an event. And I'm going to entitle this, The Mark of a Good Man. Sunday service was very unique because we paid homage. We celebrated Pastor Steve and Carla's 25-year commitment to North Lake. And I'm going to read some scriptures because I think they sum up his walk here at North Lake. And I was watching the video, and Mears, he said something. He was talking about how, Steve was sitting in the audience and approached him and things like that. Then once it was time for Steve to give the message, like, man, this guy was right here talking with me and, talking about, hey, if this is not the right church for you, I will point you to a different church. And that he was more concerned of his soul than filling seats. I had a similar experience with Pastor Steve. It was more or less like he's a sports guy, I'm a sports guy, and we were talking about sports before the service started. Because of course, I had my LSU on and stuff, and so we talked about sports. And like with Mears, he sat right in front of me, and so when it came time for him to give his sermon, lo and behold, this guy sitting right in front of me, who I'm talking sports, chopping it up with him, talking sports, gets up there and starts preaching. And one of the first words came out of his mouth, "Hi, my name is Steve, and I'm a jerk." And I was just taken back. I was like, wow, this is a man he has a very important role, but he don't think too much of himself, because we've seen some, preachers, pastors who think they the end all and be all because God had put them in a place. But not our pastor. He's a humble guy, and like I said, I'm gonna quote some scriptures and some messages that I think fit Sunday's celebration. The mark of a good man. A good man embraces optimism. His actions are guided by higher purpose. Far-reaching, unwavering principles. His mark is solid. Commitment to his belief, and his achievement are a cause for celebration, which we did. So, big salute out to Pastor Steve and his walk with God. In Psalms 37:23, it says this: "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his ways." Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. That's Psalms 37:37. Pastor Steve, my little short time, many of you guys probably known him far longer than I did. I think it's about 7 years now that I've been here at North Lake. And these 5 characteristics that I'm going to read out to you guys, you let me know if they apply to Pastor Steve, because I think they do, And I'm not trying to pump up his head, but I appreciate a good leader. And you know how you know you're a leader? If you turn behind you, you have people following you, you are a leader. All right. Step number 1. Step up. A leader initiates. He's a man of action. Assume is a job and your moment, and hate apathy and reject passivity. Do you think that's Pastor Steve? And for some biblical reference to that, 2 Samuel 10, 7 and 12. Ezekiel 22 and 30. Number 2, the second characteristics I think that fit Pastor Steve. Silence in the midst of sin is a sin. Be courageous. Be courageous. Fear God, not man. Speak the truth in love. How many times have Pastor Steve spoke the truth in love, right? Proverbs 27, 5 and 6. Better is an open rebuke than love that is concealed. Faithful are the words of a friend, but deceitful are the kisses of an enemy. So Pastor Steve, he will give you what you want and not what you want to hear. And he do it in a way of love, because that is truly love. You don't want someone to just, sugarcoat things to you and lead you astray, right? So I think that's what Pastor Steve have been walking through. Number 3, stand strong. Don't give in when you are challenged, attack, or criticized. Now, I personally witnessed some of the criticism that he has been through, attacks on him, and yet he is still standing. I'm going to read Jeremiah. No. I take that. But here it is. It's a little long, but Jeremiah 1, 18 through 19. But here's the one that I really want to read to you. 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your toil is not in vain in the Lord. So, Pastor Steve, stand strong, my man, stand strong. And whenever you start doubting yourself, boom, pick up 1 Corinthians 15 and 58 and read it. And stand fast and be it immovable. All right. That's how you have been for 25 years as a youth pastor and now as the lead pastor here at North Lake. So continue. And when you remember, I just said, he stood up on the stage and said, "Hey, I'm Steve and I'm a jerk." You have to stay humble. Be vigilant against pride. Get the log out of your eye, and don't think less of yourself, but think less of yourself. Think of yourself less. Let me rephrase that. So, don't think less of yourself, but think of yourself less. And I do think that's been Pastor Steve. Consistently putting others above himself, Hey, that is the mark of a good shepherd, and I think we do have one. Psalms 14, 1 through 5. Let the righteous smite me in kindness and reprove me. It is all upon the head. Do not let my head refuse it, for still my prayers is against their evil and wicked deeds. Also, check out 1 Peter 5, 5 through 7. Just some food for thought, okay? And the 5th characteristics of a godly man. Serve the King. Seek first his kingdom, his glory, and his righteousness. Hope in eternal. Live for a greater reward. Matthew 6 and 33 sums it up. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. I think Pastor Steve has been doing that. He's been seeking God, and God is adding things to him, right? I think you agree with that. So there's other scriptures on Mark 10 and 45, Joshua 24, 14 through 15, and Psalm 16 and 11. And like I said, there's a whole lot, but I don't want to, just throw scriptures at you. I just want to, take this time to recap the celebration we had for Pastor Steve. People from around the world sent videos in showing how he has touched their lives. And a lot of them are in the mission fields. And as a matter of fact, we have a team that's out doing mission work now because of his catchphrase, go out and change the world. Northlake, he said that 25 years ago. He's still saying it now. Making disciples that make disciples. And go out there and change the world. In all sincerity, Pastor Steve, we appreciate you, man. And I love doing life with you and walking beside you. And once again, big salute. And we are out. Thank you. May God